What's up, good people? I am going to attempt to say this thing. Man, I might jumble it up. It might be confusing for the moment, but I don't care. So I kind of titled this way right now. It might change or it might not. Or it might not. It's all about understanding the mystery of the blessings that God has. First, God is not a magician. So as we understand magic or, magicianism, of course, as it relates to your blessing or your miracle. So God doesn't necessarily intervene in the affairs of men. When I say intervene, I'm meaning, well, I'll get to that in a moment. So God doesn't necessarily intervene in the affairs of men. This may be your experience or it may not be. You may have felt or noticed that God did intervene in the affairs of your life or your experience in this way. I don't know, but as it's being downloaded here, I'm saying it this way. So God does not intervene in the affairs of men. So what do I mean? We were placed in the earth to have dominion and authority. It's our job to execute that authority. Of course, that authority comes by Christ. But nonetheless, it's our job to execute that authority. It's our job to take dominion and increase the kingdom of God in the earth or on the earth. So what does that mean as it relates to him not intervening? So if you need something as a man or a woman on the earth, God's supernatural, well, let me just stay here. Hold on. As you need something as a man and woman in the earth, he doesn't, or he won't magically create money. He won't magically create homes or businesses or whatever. He creates an opportunity for you to rendezvous with the blessing, with the miracle. That's still supernatural, but it's not a miraculous thing. It's not a miraculous thing. It's just a supernatural rendezvousing with the blessing that God has for your specific situation. It's not magically happening. It's not coming out of nowhere. That's just what it is. So what God will do as far as intervening on your behalf, he miraculously intervenes as it relates to his child or his creation. So what am I saying? There have been countless experiences that people have had with the miraculous hand of God in their life. Maybe they had organ failure, maybe they had whatever disease or situation. Let's just stay with the physical thing because that's God's domain. So it's people who have had lungs appear, people that have had teeth appear out of nowhere, people we actually know of a person that went to our church years ago. And he was in drugs for years and years, and his lungs were, complete failure. But for some reason, when he gave his life to God, he didn't create a new lung for him, but there was how did they say it? It was almost like a cloud inside of his body that the doctors couldn't see past, but that cloud literally was a miraculous moment that God sustained his lungs. So when it comes to the domain of God as it relates to you are his son, his daughter, his creation, then he can miraculously intervene and do supernatural, what do they call those things? Creative miracles that only he can do. But as it relates to you and your domain, which is in the earth, when you need a supernatural or miraculous thing to happen, he supernaturally provides the opportunity for a rendezvous, that you rendezvous with that blessing. So why is that important to understand? Because sometimes we look to God. We look for God to show up in ways that he's not legally obligated to show up as. So when we realize that, then we can start to look for the ways that he will show up. And that kind of relieves the pressure off of the ignorance that we can have in the moment, that kind of makes us block him. Because as we increase in our I don't know, when you have a lot of worry and a lot of stress, these things block God. So when we increase in stress and worry and in doubt, because we're trying to figure out how is God going to do this thing that it's done in your domain, then it kind of messes you up. But when you realize, okay, so God will show up, but he's going to show up this way in this domain. When I'm in the other domain, when I need that supernatural, miraculous, creative, miracle type thing, then God's going to show up that way. I thought this was a really serious thing to kind of release now, for all of the reasons why. But when you can see the method of God, when you understand how he moves and why he moves in these two different distinct areas, then you can understand that the miracle is here, the miracle is on the way, the blessing is here, the blessing is on the way. He's going to rendezvous you with it. So hope that makes sense, man. Bless y'all. Rising Ground Church, Pastor Jamal. Stay alert. I'll talk to you. Peace.